Tony Skate is a group of guys that live in the Cape Flats in Cape Town. The objective of the group is to grow skateboarding in our communities and just try and get kids away from poverty. The reason I think why we excel at skateboarding is because we're hungry, man. You've been oppressed for so long, and that's why so much crazy things are happening right now, is because apartheid may be over like for the past 20 years, but the system was created to last, you know, until we as a colored community or the poverty-driven communities decide to stand together and change it, you know.
SEED has been active for 16 years. It started as a schools program, and from that's grown this program, which is the Seeding Futures Youth Program and the Rocklands Training Centre. There are 400,000 unemployed township youth in Cape Town, so there's a great need for this work. We've found statistically 89% of people that go through the course grow their own food long term. This has a big impact on a feeling of safety, on a feeling of being able to provide something, and it often has a replicator effect. The kids are growing their own food, but then also starting to transform all their friends' and families' gardens. We're growing a young green army that's got the potential to transform the cities and settlements we live in. It would be fantastic to transform Mitchell's Plain as the first model of climate resilience. It was designed by apartheid as a segregated, separate neighbourhood that was far away from the white areas and also from commerce. So with that, with the spaces around it, and with the fact that it's got an aquifer underneath it, the permaculture design skills could be applied to the whole neighbourhood.
As a young kid, I used to walk around the hood and just look at the graffiti on the wall, which was inspired by Falco one of South Africa's prominent graffiti artists. What attracted me was not the actual graffiti, it was the fact that he could express himself, and that is how I got into design. Myself, Ryan Kasim, Lee Donnie Cubido and Amadeo, we got together and we started an exhibition. And I mean, we were like guys from Mitchell's Plain, we thought like, is people gonna take us serious, you know? So we're like, nah, we don't care, we're just gonna do it. And from there on, I actually started to enjoy this, you know? I'm like, oh wow, people like what I'm doing. For me, Mitchell's Plain is alive. It's a beautiful place in terms of the people. I mean, there is so much talent, so much potential, and so much creative people in Mitchell's Plain.
My mother, my grandmother, they lived in the Boerkaap and they passed on these wonderful recipes to me and my sisters. Cape Malay food is a way of communicating. It's how you tell the next person, I love you. I wanted to share the feeling I got growing up, sitting around the table with my family, the bond that is created in the kitchen with your family. And then I decided I'm going to start just sharing these recipes. The Facebook page grew so well, I knew that I would like to do a book. And it was self-published. I did all the photos. I think the best thing about Mitchell's Plain for me is the people, that connection between everyone. We don't have the most aesthetic areas, but it's got heart. You may not see it if you just fly over it, but it's got lots of heart.
So my name is Mel Jones and I'm from a lovely little place in Cape Town called Mitchell's Plain. Yes,
The Premium Sports Bar, that's the comedy venue that promotes and supports comedy in Mitchell's Plain, and it's hugely supported in the community. I think that generally people in Mitchell's Plain love to laugh. Stick uit jou tanden. There are people who've worked really hard and parents who've made incredible sacrifices. And that's what we're not talking about, and that's what we're not showing, and that's what we need to see more of. So there are amazing stories, and you only get those stories if you come and visit the place and talk to the people. You will hear all of the great stories, but if you don't come and visit, then you don't get the stories, and you don't get to cook sister.